We are agents of change. Today I have the pleasure to have Dr. Ian Moe with us, who is the Vice President of the Association of Public and Land-Grant Universities. It's a pleasure to have you with us, Dr. Moe.
Thank you very much. Pleasure being here.
Dr. Moe, we have seen less number of students going to agriculture as it was in the past. And there is a change in technology, there is a need to produce more food. What do universities have to do to attract students to agriculture and environmental sciences?
I think it's very simple, and yet it's very challenging too. Universities and their faculties need to be able to have the general public better understand what their contributions are through agriculture to the public good. That it is not only production, but it is the whole value chain of agriculture, from planting to from field to fork, if you will. That it's all those sciences that have to play a role to ensure that we have a quality product, that in terms of the food, that it is safe and it's nutritious, and that it adds to the benefit of our lives as human beings.
And do you feel that the universities are preparing our graduates to go out and find jobs, or do we have to make a change? You talked about ethics before. I think it's much more than just the scientific part. It's about values too, isn't it?
It's about values, and it's about leadership, and building up a repertoire of values that we hold dear, and being able to articulate those through our leadership actions. That's very important. And in many ways, I'm not sure that we're providing sufficient opportunities within the educational experience in our universities so students really understand that. It's not only building the skills and competencies of communication and how to work with people and groups, but how to do so in terms of championing the values that we hold dear as a society.
Do you think that we put a lot of emphasis in promoting faculty and their research papers rather than in how much they focus on the person and in the field and in the practical aspect?
There's no question in my mind about that. You know, it's one thing to be a good scientist and generate technical papers in a very narrow field. That's well, fine and good, and we need that because it advances the technology and the knowledge which universities have a responsibility for. But the first and primary responsibility of a university is, in addition to knowledge, it is preparing that next generation that will serve society well and advance it. And so teaching in all forms, whether it's in the classroom, whether it's in informal discussions with students, whether it's in the dormitories or the student union, or visiting students out in an assignment in a job that they may have. Those are just equally as important, if not more so.
And one thing I want to ask you is that I have the sense that the institutions are more have been surrounded by the urban areas, and there is more theory than practice. And it's like the School of Medicine. You need a hospital. You cannot do everything on the blackboard. Are we doing that?
Think about it. Your analogy there to medicine is a good one. What happens in the training of our doctors? They go through the academic work, in med school, but what do they do while they're doing that? They're in the hospital having some of those experiences and having that opportunity. And once they get their degree, what do they do? The first thing they have to do is they're in a practice experience. That's what we ought to be doing in terms of our curricula and particularly in the agriculture and related sciences, is providing those experiential opportunities for students while they're doing their undergraduate work. And certainly when they do the graduate work, that becomes even more important.
Thank you very much, Dr. Mo. Thank you so much. We are agents of change.